Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Back on the Cub again this weekend. Volkswagen's still sitting over there. I had to take the rotor out of the motor because it was badly off balance, and took it to a shop in Nashville. They're going to balance it up for me. Hopefully have it done sometime next week, by the end of next week. That'd be pretty great. Anyway, and over there's a motor plate that I made for it. GB helped out a lot. Thanks, buddy. So anyway, back to the Cub. I need a parking brake. I need a parking brake on this. Now from the factory, there was two ways of doing brakes. One that had just disc brakes, kind of like that. And they were just mechanical. They had like an arm that comes out of the caliper, and it had a cam on it, and the cam pushed up against disc pads. The other way, you see down there, well, you got to ignore all the brake stuff, but the hole, and in the front there's like a little knob, I don't know, push button, some other, and there was a cam, and a lever activated an arm that would push in that little knob in the transmission, and that would push up against a gear, a big spur gear, and it would apply direct pressure against that gear, and that would be your brakes. Apparently they work pretty well. I don't know. That'd be pretty nice, but I don't have a way to do that. First of all, I don't have a way to actuate it, certainly not in the front, and even in the back, since I did all this modification stuff to make it have a drive shaft go in there. I don't have anywhere to put that linkage or a way to actuate it with my little brake pedal here. So what I've done is I went online and I got some Volkswagen Passat rear calipers. They have an electric brake, so it's just a little motor that goes into a ball screw, and it pushes out on the piston, and then that pushes against some pads. Well, believe me, it pushes out some pads, and that's your brake. So these do actually have hydraulics on it, so I could possibly run some lines to them and bleed my master cylinder and use my brake pedal as brakes, and then it would also be an electric parking brake. One of the switches in my instrument panel here was, so where I've got that PTO arm, I don't need that anymore. I've got a different soft start speed controller, so I don't need to use that anymore. So I've changed that to say auxiliary. In fact, this is pretty cool. I had a guy at work, on his off time, of course, do that for me. So this is just a piece of 1/8 inch aluminum, anodized black, and yeah, so that's gonna go there, and all the switches will mount to this panel. I've still got some holes to drill. I've got these 4 corner holes to drill in the fiberglass instrument panel, and then these 3 holes that locate the panel on the steering unit. Got to dig them in there. So this is going to be kind of a job. I'm going to have to take all the panel of the sheet metal off, of course, take all the switches out, put this thing on there with it still installed, but all the switches will be dropped out. Put this thing on there where it's sort of centered in the console. Mark and drill these 4 holes, put nuts and bolts through them. I'll have to have these 3 bolts out. Then once those 4 corner bolts are in and that thing's on there tight, I can pull this console off, transfer those 3 holes, and then transfer those 3 holes into this, drill through those 3 holes, and then this will bolt down on that. Put this all back up there and make sure it still fits with my panels, and yeah, then I can mark where these switch holes are. They're not in the same spot as these ones. These ones were just sort of free-handed, like with a ruler and good intentions. These ones were actually squared up and put in there, you know, like through a CAD program and a CNC drilled them all, so they're actually accurate. So they're not, those holes where those switches are right now are not correct. So I'll have to redo those switches. Anyway, that's that. But I guess the biggest thing I wanted to show for this video, believe it or not, is how do you go about doing that? So this was the little bracket that goes on the bottom of this, of my front caliper, like that. But where do you get these? You make them, of course. How do you do that? Well, this is out of 1/4-inch steel, and of course I've lost my demonstration piece. Stand by. And I found it right where I left it. So yeah, so you kind of, you take this piece and you take your measurements off of it. And the way that I made this piece was the original brake calipers had these on it. So I just took some measurements and I made my own. So what you do is you take your 1/4-inch steel and you cut it to length. You cut it long, and then you measure that, and that's 7/8. Then what you do is you measure back 7/8, cut it about half, till there's about 1/16 of an inch left in the metal, and then take it over to the vise and bend it. And then it's about 1 inch up to there. These are 60-degree bends. 1 inch there, that's 1 1/4 across the top, and then 1 inch down. And then you go and you cut about that much. And you make sure it's roughly the same on both sides. And then you come over here to your vise, and then just with minimal effort, look at that, and it bends. But you got to be kind of careful. You don't want to go too fast, because this will work hard and it'll break. Yep. And then you just kind of do that back and forth, find your protractor, and then hold on. Yeah, so then you find your protractor and you just get it until it's right. And well, I almost hit that perfect, but that's the idea. And then you come over there and you just put a simple tack weld just in the middle, and that'll hold it. And then this one I got to cut off about 7/8 of the inch off of there, and then it'll look just like that one. It'll look like that one. And these ones are out of 1/4 inch. I don't have enough 1/4 inch to do 2 more of them, but I do have some 3/16. So I'm going to do the 2 that go on the top will be 3/16, and the ones that go on the bottom will be 1/4. And 3/16 is going to be fine, because there's going to be a bracket just like this. And let's be honest, this is, it's not a Ferrari. I'm not racing this thing around the track, and this isn't going to actually even be used for brakes much. It's going to be a parking brake. So, but that's what I'm up to. I don't know how much of this I'll get done today. This is Saturday. Tomorrow I got to head on over to sort of northeastern Ohio for a little while for work. Actually, that machine that I've been talking about, my little partitioner, we finally finished it and got it working. So I'm gonna take it up to Ohio next week and install it, and it's gonna go really great. I already know it is. So, all right, that's it for now. We will see you when I get back. Goodbye. Okay, well, I lied. Not quite over yet. So I've got a little problem here. So here's my brake assembly all assembled, and if I slide that on there, look at there, that fits great. Oh, it doesn't fit there at all. Not good. And then even if it did fit there, that flange, if I can make this work, that flange, that's gonna hit the wheel for sure. That will for sure hit the wheel. So this is a loser. This is a loser. Okay, well, I'll have to come up with something else. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.